Some of you know me, some of you don't. I want to talk to everyone about this presidential election we have coming up. The country is in danger, and I think we all know that. Personally, I don't think either of the two-party candidates should be elected or should be running for the presidency. We all know Hillary Clinton's past, her lies to Congress, her lies about her emails, her lies about Benghazi. She's above the law, obviously, and that should never, ever happen. As far as Mr. Trump, he's a lesser of two evils, but is that really the way we want to vote? And how could he ever identify with the middle class, people like you and me? So what do? The stats say 64% of Americans consider both of them untrustworthy. We should not vote for somebody that we consider untrustworthy. We should vote for somebody that we consider trustworthy and able to handle things with integrity. And let me tell you why I think that I would be a good selection for that. No, I'm not a politician, never held a public office. So there's one good reason, perhaps. I've never been in politics. I've never served in the Senate or anywhere. So I don't have the experience of lying and cheating and all the things that appear to be happening behind the scenes. And I think a lot more happens than has been brought up, including the sale of arms through Libya into Syria, spearheaded by Hillary Clinton. And that is one of the reasons why the Benghazi consulate was destroyed and they got no help. But that's one issue. America needs somebody who has a level head, somebody with common sense instead of nonsense, and somebody who can identify with the people and our problems. Now, I'm not in the White House, in the Congress. I don't see the everyday occurrences and the everyday workings. And that's okay, because I don't think we want anybody with preconceived notions about what happens and just be part of the system. We want somebody not part of the system. Now, I am 5 years younger than Trump, 4 years younger than Hillary. I've got a college degree just like Donald Trump. I have served in the private sector, I should say, for 38 years in management after I got out of college. I had one day off and I went to work. I worked my way through college at Syracuse University and did graduate with my class. After I retired 6 years ago, and after I retired, I decided I wanted to help in the community and help people. And I've done that through my Little League program, which I love baseball, and I love coaching the kids. I coach 3 teams, and I'm now vice president. And the American Red Cross, where my wife and I are on the disaster action teams there. We have been all over to different disasters, including Hurricane Sandy. We do local fires and disasters. I also assume some leadership roles with them, because everything I've ever been involved in my professional life and now in my private life as a volunteer, I assume leadership responsibilities. And you know, the definition of a leader is somebody who will not ask somebody to do something they wouldn't do. We need to lead by example, and neither one of these leaders that we supposedly have are doing that. We need somebody who can speak in public. Obviously, I'm doing that. We also need somebody who has a little bit of a handle on the issues, and I have researched them extensively, as well as the candidates, to be honest with you. I've researched ISIS, I've researched foreign policy, I've researched jobs, you name it, the infrastructure, Social Security. What are we going to do about our tax plan, our tax system, and so forth? And I have ideas, some similar, but not really similar to the two candidates, not the same as the two candidates. There are ways, there are things we can do. First of all, to fix Social Security. Why do we have a maximum of salary which you pay Social Security on at $118,500? Why is that? Oh, that's right. Congress won't have to pay that way. Well, guess what? We need to double that, or we need to just get rid of the ceiling on that. And Social Security will never have a problem again. And keep the government's hands out of the pot. That should be a law. Congress should pass a law for that. So Social Security is not something that ever should be endangered, and it wouldn't be under my administration. Jobs, there's plenty of ways to create jobs. And one of them, I'm afraid, is not necessarily to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. You've got people that are trying to raise families as EMSs and CNAs and things out there that don't make $15 an hour. Why would you want to give $15 an hour to a kid who works at McDonald's or Burger King or whatever when you're not paying that to people as a living wage? I think there's two differences, or a big difference between a living wage and a minimum wage. The living wage should be $15 an hour minimum. People who have jobs and supporting families should make that at least. A minimum wage is for fast food workers. Maybe we can raise the minimum wage to 7.25. Maybe we can raise it to 10. That's the minimum wage, or 9. Give them a little bit more money. But it should not be a wage that is equivalent to or more than what families are making and trying to raise kids on. That's just wrong. That is not a way to stimulate the economy. We need to be more competitive in our trade deals. Trump is right there. We need to get business back in this country. And if you look at our infrastructure, then you look at where are we going to get the people to do the work. Contractors would love to win these contracts, and they can hire veterans. They could hire long-term unemployed, and that's people who have been out of work for at least 6 months and are no longer looking for work. They're probably working on the side under the table or something. These people want jobs. It's not like they don't want to work. They're not on social services for the most part because they couldn't find a job. They just can't find a job that pays them what they were used to making. So they're working under the table. Let companies hire people like that and give them a tax credit so that they will hire these people, and we could solve a huge problem with the long-term unemployed. And by the way, the 4.9% unemployment rate is really a skewed figure because there are probably 8 or 10 million people in that long-term unemployed category who have not even looked for work for at least 30 days. That's how you fall into that category. So imagine how many people are out of work and have been for a long time and have stopped looking for work within the last 30 days. Now, if you factor that in, that 4.9% is much higher. Also, 255,000 jobs created in July. You got to factor in there that many people are working 2 part-time jobs or lower paying jobs just to make ends meet. Is that creating jobs? Is that because the husband went and got a job at wherever, Burger King or wherever, on a night shift because he couldn't feed his family on just a paycheck that he was getting after he lost his original job? That's not creating jobs. So don't let the administration give you these numbers and not qualify them. So there are so many things. We have problems with ISIS. We need to get aggressive. That's my posture, and I'm sure any military commanders would agree with that. But most of all, we're not protecting our borders. And all we're doing is allowing people to come in who we know are potential terrorist backers, terrorists, period. and they're not vetted. We don't have a vetting process. So we must close our borders until we have a process in place where we can properly vet people. Now, President Obama and Hillary Clinton want all kinds of Syrians and refugees and Muslims to come over and settle in our country, and we'll give them all they need to get going. But we won't do that for our veterans. Our veterans come back from wars with disabilities and all kinds of problems, and they have to wait for treatment at the VA hospital. And President Obama refused to give them a raise this year, and he signed legislation to reduce their pensions. Is that what we want? Is that the message we want to send to our military people? I don't think so. Plus, there's 22 veterans per day are committing suicide in this country. That is a statistic that has been ongoing for months and months. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Absolutely ashamed. I am. And I'm not even a part of that. But the administration doesn't address it in any way, shape, or form. So those are just some of the things that need immediate attention that they would get from me. But what's most important? Well, most important is having somebody with some integrity. Somebody isn't going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you I can do something in a certain amount of time if I don't believe I can. Nobody knows how long it'll take to raise the jobs number and solve the ISIS problem. But there are things we can do right away to make sure that we're at least doing it correctly. We're not deceiving you. We're not, we need to be friendly. We need to get back and be friendly with Israel in the Middle East, one of our longtime allies. We need to do that. And we need to stop sending guns and military weaponry to ISIS. It's landing in the hands of ISIS. Hillary won't tell you that, and she'll lie about it, but it's happening. Believe me, it's happening. So why is this happening? And what about the jargon and the talk that's coming from both campaigns? All they want to do is pick on each other. They sound like a couple of 12-year-olds arguing. Why do that? I don't care about Trump's tax returns. I couldn't care less. You want to see mine, you can see him. I don't care what his say. He's still Trump. Hillary, she made millions of dollars last year. We all knew that was going to happen. And by the way, $1 million of her contributions went to the Clinton Foundation, which is another real issue. We need somebody that we can trust to go in there and make changes that won't be made by somebody who's already part of the system. Trump says he will. I doubt seriously if he'll ever get elected, because Hillary is part of the system and she has been anointed a long time ago. We need somebody to get out there and start getting support and get on the air and saying, hey, this is what's wrong. We don't need these people. You know, can I do the job? Could I do any worse? Could anybody do any worse? Well, Hillary could. She'd be another continuation of Obama. Trump, nobody knows. You can't figure the guy out from day to day. I'm not saying he's not smart. He's smart in marketing himself, but I'm not sure about smart about what to do once he gets in the White House and in the Oval Office. You know, maturity and integrity and guts. You got to talk about Putin and Iran. You got Syria. You've got all these people to deal with. And if you're going to go in there and bow to them and not tell them the way things really need to be, then they're going to continue to take advantage of us. We have to stop that. We have to stop China from being aggressive in the China Sea over there. That's international waters. waters, not China's waters. We need to make sure that all these places understand these people. You look them in the eye and you say, I don't like the way things are going, and we need to talk about fixing them. We want to work with you, but we're not going to work for you. And that's what has to be done. Just straightforward conversation. If they don't respect the leader of a country who does that, they're never going to respect anybody. And they certainly don't respect Obama. And I think they're salivating for either Clinton or Trump to come in there. Do I have the guts to do it? Ask anybody who knows me. And just recently, I just beat cancer. So, you know, I look at things like, what have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? And we forget one other thing. I've got God behind me. He got me through cancer. He'll get me through anything. And we don't think enough about God in this country. And the American flag and patriotism. We need to get back to the days when we trusted our government and we believed in their leaders. And it just isn't there. They're all corrupt. They're all part of a corrupt system. And we need to start somewhere in changing that. And it's not going to happen with the people we have there now. Does everybody agree with me? If everybody doesn't agree with me, then ignore this video. But if you do agree with me and you think that what I'm saying makes a lot of sense, then we need to get behind each other. I need support, and I need people to start reacting and letting media know. Let the media know that we've got somebody that's going to do it and do it right. And, you know, I listen to everybody. You know, one of the things that we forget to do is to become good listeners. As a leader, there's a lot of traits that you need to have to be a good leader. You need to be a good listener. You need to lead by example. And, you know, in business, you take care of your customers first and your employees second. And then businesses will take care of itself. Well, our customers are the American people. And our employees are those of us who work for the American people. And I would like to be one of those employees working for you. I can't get by the media. I can't get by anybody because I'm a nobody. But that I hope can happen if somebody and everybody who listens to this video and believes as strongly as I believe that we can take America back still. We still have time. Only 3 months left, but we still can do it if we can get the backing and get the support. So let's put some pressure and let's talk about this and let's get this video out there and share it. And trust me when I tell you, I do not want to let this go. I cannot see our country go through another 8 years of Obama-like policies. Hillary Clinton also has some serious health issues. There may be a brain cancer or some sort of a tumor there because she has had a concussion in 2012 and she has recurring, she passes out, she blanks out. Maybe she's made a deal with the devil saying, if you get me elected, I'll do everything I can until I can't do it anymore. I don't know, but it's scary. We need somebody strong, somebody who will take the bull by the horns and lead the Republican Party, if they want, into the White House. We cannot allow Hillary in the White House. So everybody, if you want, if you think, I know I don't look like the polished, perfect hair, perfect teeth and everything, guys that they like to parade up on stage. I'm you, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm scared too. But I'm also smart enough to do what I need to do. And I've got the guts to do it because you know what? I don't care what anybody has to say about me because I know who I am. And they will know that I have the integrity and the honesty to do what I say I want to do. And if I can't do it, nobody will. Because I don't give up. I never give up. So please, if anybody's behind me, let's get this video out there and let's take America back and let's stop this nonsense and start with some common sense. Thank you all so much.